else.
Okay, we're
Oh
live.
no, we're live.
Watch your language. We're live.
I'm very good about this. I don't swear very
I
often.
don't know. Last night you kept catching yourself.
Ricky, don't swear. I'm going to beat you up.
Look at this. We actually started before 9 o'clock, Court.
Well, yes. However, but then 9 o'clock,
Milford was insane tonight with the
Yes.
flock cameras, but it's not just flock. It's the amount of cameras and all the different people. And this is, what happens is you let them put those cameras in, you're living, we're like chickens in, what do they call it? Chickens, what do they call the chickens that just kind of run around in the yard?
Free range.
Free range. We're just free range chickens.
I see. Well, I think
Try to get out of the United States without a passport.
we can do it. Gotta be a little creative.
What was the wall being built that Trump wanted to build? Oh, maybe to keep you in and not keep people out. Oh, just I'm going buck wild tonight.
Yeah.
For a little bit. And then I got to get upstairs. That's why I'm in early and I'll be out early. And hopefully some of the other guys will chime in.
Yeah, well, I mean, Jason will be in. He got some news. I don't know if he'll share it on air, but this will blow your mind if he gets to share it. Yes, it's a surprise. It's incredibly good.
All right, I'll wait for the surprise.
Yeah, incredibly good news for him.
There were a lot of pissed off people in Milford tonight. I shouldn't say today because it only ended like an hour ago. And you should have seen the snobbiness of most of the people on the panel. And
in spite of the anger.
Yeah, I would say probably the only two people that were real on that panel were Win Smith III and Win Smith Jr. Outside of that, the rest of the panel were a bunch of snobs going, you are our little peons down here. You listen to us.
Yeah, well, you know what?
And then one guy walked up to the mic and said, I'm running against Rosa DeLaura. And I'm like, yeah, good luck with that. You're going to waste your time and money until that bitch dies.
All right, here he is.
Live on Common Sense News Entertainment here.
Jason.
Welcome to Yankee T News Thursday night.
He's trying to outdo you.
The Booty Blues here. Yes.
Don't get copyrighted on that.
Right. Let me get rid of that.
All right. So, what would you like to disclose to the world, Jason?
Impending doom. What the impending doom? What? By the way, we're live on Facebook here as well.
No, not the pending doom. What you told me.
What did I tell you?
That was not doom.
I'll tell you what. Red is gray and yellow white, but we decide which is right and which.
I hope so, Jason.
Isn't that the state of politics in Connecticut these days? Isn't it?
Well, not according to the Milford Alderman.
Here, Little Empire, you're here. You're part of the party now.
All right.
So
welcome to reality.
It's the Thursday night get together.
Thursday night bash.
All right, the potential investor.
Is the cat above your head tonight?
Hold on. Whoa. So, Jason,
yes.
You want to talk about the potential investor?
Well, I can't make any names, but I do have a connection with someone who works for Elon Musk. And what Elon does, I'll tell you what Elon does.
Yes.
Elon has a lot of money. That's what he does. And what he does is when he sees campaigns that he likes, like Mr. Lawler's campaign out of New York, for example.
Yes.
He throws money at it.
All right.
So throwing money at politicians, what does that mean that's going to do? They're going to listen to the guy to the money at him, Jay.
Well, there's a woman I know that I've known for a while from being involved with all this, and she has connections in D.C. She worked for the SBA at one point.
Okay.
She now does not work for the government anymore. She's involved in politics, and she works for Elon Musk. Now, she's never met him, but she works for his organization. And he does what he does again when he sees a campaign that he likes, he just throws money at it. And so he's thrown some money at Lawler's campaign. She called me because she's looking for people to go down there and campaign for Lawler. I think his name is. He's running in Westchester County.
All right, you need to slow down.
Okay.
No, I can hear him. He's going at my speed.
I need to explain
coffee,
to you.
Well, you gotta let me finish.
you need to understand the rules in Connecticut.
Okay.
If you have successfully obtained money from the CEP, that is the Citizens Election Program,
Okay.
you cannot raise any other money for your campaign.
Okay.
So, for example, Lisa Dean is running as a state senator in the 12th district. She has raised state money. Now she can't ask for any money from anybody else.
Okay. Well, I'm not sure what Mr. Lawler's campaign financing is all about, but I just know that they're offering to pay people $30 an hour to go down there and hand out, do campaigning door to door.
That's some good money. $30 an hour. I don't even pay my dishwashers.
And put up in
$30
hotels down there too.
Someday soon.
At any rate, this same
If your dishwasher's unionized, you're screwed.
at any rate, this same
That's why all my guys in the kitchen speak Espanol.
Elon also gives grants to businesses that are started that he thinks can be successful or he likes what they're doing.
Yes.
And so we got to talking, and she likes what we're doing at CS&E, and she asked me to put together a business plan and send it to her. Which, luckily for me, our great, awesome Gabby already made one for us back in May. So I went there. Yeah, I went back there and into that PowerPoint, and I tweaked it a little bit, and then I added my own 5-page.
No, that wasn't really. If that's the thing, no, that was not what you would call a full-on business plan.
Well, no, but it was a good start. And then you let me finish. I added a 5-page piece of my own that I composed this morning to it.
Right. Well, let me help you out.
The
typical business plan will have a summary, an introduction, statement of purpose, statement of personnel, describe your business model, describe your market, describe your customers. You put out your financial projections. How long will you be losing money? When will you start to make money? Okay. And then the other things you anticipate for the future. A lot of that was not in her presentation.
I get that, which is why I added 5 pages to it on my own. It didn't have all that. It did not have everything that you said there, but it did have a lot of extra that was needed.
Okay. To be a business, or you know what? Take the time, go to the internet, maybe even use AI, find out what a real business plan is. Okay. Find out what a real business plan is.
I already know what a real business plan is.
Then why am I teaching you about this?
Because I had to send what I had to send. She wanted something right away. And I told her it was a draft, and that there's more to come. So
okay. Well, before we do that, there are plenty of examples of business plans online to use as templates or models.
Well, maybe we could talk about that on Saturday when I come down and see you.
Sure. Okay. All right. Anyway,
he vanished just like magic. Woo.
Yeah, well, he's been doing a lot.
I hear it back there.
Okay, so that is.
I have one more thing to tell you that's related to this, though. Back in May, I went to Eastern Connecticut State University, put a bunch of flyers up, looking for a social media monetization or engineer at the college. Remember that?
Yes.
And nothing happened. It was a bust. But 2 days ago, I got a call from somebody. So it's not a complete bust anymore. After I see.
But Jason, what is the basis of this business model?
Well, it's meant to be. I can give you the business mission statement. Is that we want to form a very powerful news network, starting here in Connecticut, eventually nationwide, that will tell the truth, basically, tell the stories people really want to know.
Okay, so you're trying to do what Ford did way back in the day.
What Henry Ford did?
Not President Ford. We're talking about the guy at Ford Motors.
Yeah, Henry Ford.
Yes, that's who I'm referring to.
Yeah, we're going to manufacture news at an assembly line, and it's going to be truthful.
Well, that's
well, that
Henry Ford.
That could be questionable, Jason.
Show me Henry Ford quote. I got to do something. So
I have a suggested motto for CSNE. The suggested model is we present what they hide.
Yeah.
Yes, that's a great one.
I'll tell the stories they won't tell.
What you got? What you got on board?
I got something I'm going to show you here in a minute. We got a lot of I'm going to list the stories out right now. I'm going to put them up here. I don't have the technology you have to put them on the board like that, but I can put it right up screen up.
Yeah, you can put it to the screen. It's good enough.
That's right. Give me a minute.
There's a guy, Rick Miracle. He doesn't do that. He holds it right up to the camera, and the point gets out there. So. Okay. All right. Well, Jason's doing whatever he's doing. What else you want to go back to the cameras in Milford and why I feel like they're just saying, oh, well, we're just going to pause the contract. No, those cameras have to come down, all of them, everywhere. And the reason why it's all connected to the internet, that it has to do with the UN Agenda 2030, where they want to keep you a prisoner in these smart cities. And these guys, they're all old. They don't care. They're going to be dead by the time they implement their final program. So these guys are just taking the money and running, and they're selling you out.
Mm-hmm. Okay. There comes a point where you have to look at people like these and say this problem is going to be solved one of two ways. Either you're going to fix it or we're going to fix it.
Well, as I said before we went on camera, the ants are getting aggravated with the grasshoppers.
Okay. Yeah.
It's only a matter of time. And you just see the people that are on this board. You want to talk a board of monkeys that you can't even.
I thought they were grasshoppers.
Well, they're a board of monkeys in my world. My dad won't let me go to one of these things, and I know more than half the people up there, and I will call them out and rag at them. And it's just, my dad doesn't want me to do that.
Yeah, well, what's Sarah doing?
Huh?
What's Sarah doing? The organizer, Sarah.
This wasn't even organized by Sarah. This was an emergency meeting put together by the town because the people that are on the board are getting their lives threatened. They're not even, you don't want to even walk. If you're one of those board members, you don't want to walk around town. You're going to get spit on. You're going to get punched. You're going to get killed. They'll kill you. And you can see the fear on the faces of these people as they try to tell you, we're so good. You are just a little peasant. Let me flee, Court, last night after we got off talking on the stream, one memory came up, and it had to do with a homeless gentleman that I would see coming by the restaurant all the time. And he wasn't that old. I would say he was somewhere between 25 and 30 years old. And I go, hey, man. And he goes, hey. I go, are you hungry? And he goes, yeah. And I go, stay right here. And I ran into the kitchen, and I had the guys make up some meals, right? And then I grabbed 2 beers, and I ran back out to the front of the building. I said, take this beer, have a beer. Let's talk. And I go, I want to hear your story. How did you end up in this predicament? And he says, well, Ricky, my mom used to sell me to the rich people when I was a kid. Holy hell. His mom sold him to the rich people.
And so now he's out on the street?
He's been on the street. He escaped. He ran away from his mom.
Okay.
Let that sink in for a few.
Dude, that gets the story I have listed in here.
All right, Jason, bring it to a lighter level. What you got?
I don't have, well, this isn't much lighter. I don't have the chart, but I have the list. And let me tell you right now.
Yes.
First story is about systematic child abuse, sexual abuse in our schools in Connecticut.
Dang! So it's almost in the same thing that I just mentioned.
Systematic, not isolated. Systematic. Sickening.
It is.
We already know about. Fraud and abuse. It's going on in our welfare system in Connecticut. It's going on in DCF.
No.
I want to investigate Whiting Mental Hospital where they're keeping political prisoners.
Right.
Allegedly. We're going to get to the bottom of it.
Allegedly. That keeps us out of the lawsuits.
Let's not make things.
Yeah.
Keep going, Jason. I'm loving it.
I'm an investigator. When we get the evidence, that's going to be a different story.
All right.
We got to talk about this. Back in the spring, I went to Bacchus Hospital.
Yeah.
And they gave me a hard time about bringing my phone in there, remember, to film in the lobbies. And it was a big deal.
Oh, really? You couldn't? You weren't allowed to do photography or any videography?
No, they wouldn't let me do any photography or videography even in the lobbies. Now I can understand that in the rooms or certain places.
Wow.
In the public area in the lobby, it'd be allowed.
You pull a James O'Keefe. You got to be undercover.
No. They already know about the meta glasses. So if Jason goes in with the glasses that have the 2 cameras that are right here, they're gonna pick off on that right out of the gate, anyways.
Well,
especially me.
Not how he does it.
Well, taxpayers fund a lot of that hospital.
Okay.
Hey, did you know that this is getting into it? But did you know that when a woman is in the hospital and she has her baby and there's a placenta, right? The placenta is the afterbirth, right?
Yes, it comes out second. I remember when my daughter was born and my wife didn't know how to push it out, and it had like a 5-gallon bucket. And they're like, "Do you want to keep this?" I'm like,
"It's not.
What am I going to do with it?"
Advertising thing to watch. But the bottom line is this: after you pay all the thousands of dollars, whether it's through insurance or not, through the hospital, don't you think that placenta is worth $70,000 towards stem cell research?
Well, apparently I lost out on that one because
Wouldn't that be the mother's property? The hospital seizes it and takes the money.
All right. Well, Jason, again, I hate to disappoint you. There was a lawsuit back in the 1980s with a then company called Genentech, and there was a patient who had given some of his body tissue for research. When he found out what had happened, he sued to get a piece of the profits, and the court came back and said, once whatever it is has been separated from your body, it's no longer yours.
Yeah, but he gave it away. He gave it away. The mother's like, I know. I looked into it, and what they do is when you sign a form when you go into the hospital, you're basically giving it away.
Yeah. You're right, Jason. You're right, though. I remember doing all this, and my wife and I didn't even think twice about it. And they were like, "Ricky, you guys should just keep it." I remember the doctor saying it to us. And the crazy thing is the doctor that delivered our baby, they killed him on the operation table in Milford a month later. He was a good doctor. He was the last of the good guys.
You gonna cook a placenta burger?
What?
You gonna cook up a placenta burger?
No. You're exactly right. It has something to do with the blood that they want. Now, I don't know if there's adrenochrome in something like that.
Well, placenta is a very powerful, if I'm not mistaken, Corey, maybe you know more than me, but it's a very powerful part of the body in terms of like nutrients, and blood, and DNA and all that. I know. It's
like you think about how we were born. We started as one cell, and then connected with another cell, and then those two confirmed, and here we are.
So one of the stories I have is that this is allegedly now that at Bacchus Hospital, if you get admitted to, I had myself at Bacchus Hospital, I had blood clots in 2023, and it saved my life. So I got to say, hey, way to go, Bacchus, right? But
I remember the doctor saying that too. He said if there was something to go wrong, you could, but you had to. I remember. Here was the other thing about that, Jason. I remember they said, well, you're going to keep it. They were going to lease it to us, like lease a space. I'm not yelling. Because the window's open.
Dun, 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 dun.
I love it. From where he's sitting, every time he looks up, it's like he's talking to God or his goddess.
Well, that's the second part. So when I when I got to Bacchus, I got out of there. They saved my life. I was happy. But through investigation, a little bit of investigation and time passing, my understanding is this: if you get admitted to Bacchus, and not just Bacchus, but other hospitals in Connecticut, and who knows where else.
Because I'm tired of playing.
Yes. I got out of Bacchus without a problem because I had I had family and friends that were concerned about me that came to visit me while I was in the hospital.
Yes.
But if you're not one of those people, if you're a street person, you don't have family and friends, and you get admitted into this hospital, there's a chance you may not come out alive because they're going to do experiments on you and they're going to kill you, treat you like a lab rat. So they can learn more at your expense, and you're dead. And this supposedly happened to a woman named Anna, who was a Norwich junkie, admitted to the hospital, healthy other than her drug addiction problem, and that she was in direct communication with a woman that used to be a court reporter, TV reporter, not court TV, but another network like that, who's now living in Minnesota and had this online relationship with this woman from Connecticut here that ended up at Bacchus and never came out alive. So, and she alleges that what they did is they treated her like a lab rat. They put her in, they pumped her up with these anti-addictive drugs, and they took her off on and back and forth, and they ultimately killed her within a few weeks. And so the bottom line is, what the allegation is that hospitals, if you don't have family and friends coming to visit you, may just decide to use you as a lab rat and do some experimenting on you, and whether you die or live doesn't really matter. So anyway, that's one of the stories we're going to look into on CSNE, and it's a deep one. What about TPUSA? What are they doing in Connecticut now since Charlie Kirk passed away?
Getting grief.
Yeah. Of course, we're going to investigate Republican Party corruption. And then there's allegations of, I have now been told by someone who I think is reliable that, we hear about chemtrails and things like that. We hear about, I always thought it was a little far-fetched. It's not one of the theories that I espouse and believe in too much. That why would you spray poison everywhere? You got your own kids here too. How stupid is that, right? I thought it was a dumb theory. But when it was brought to me in a different light, though, the idea that see, Eric agrees with me there. Hi, Eric. When it comes to, what if you're not spraying to poison people? What if you're spraying crops, organic crops, to retard those crops and thus force people to buy back into buying the crappy food they're selling? That's a little more believable.
The GMO engineered stuff that doesn't even have seeds.
Yes, sir. And Selena tells me, a coach on CS Common Sense Entertainment, she says that the organic farmers in Connecticut are reporting poor outturn. We're reporting poor outturn this year and last year. So, and then I was told that some of the source of these chemicals may be coming from one of the local airports in the area. And so we're going to look into that as well, see what we can find out in the field.
Well, the other thing that a lot of people don't consider when they analyze or take air samples, that air travels in the jet stream. And so a lot of the elements or components that people are claiming that are coming from cloud seeding or spraying and so forth are the same chemicals that can be found in that are expelled from textile factories, from volcano ash, and a variety of other sources and stuff. So all of these compounds and particulate are traveling in the jet stream, and they're in the atmosphere. So the claim that the chemicals that are being identified as things that are modifying weather is, in my opinion, is a specious claim at best. Yeah. So
weather's a hard thing to control. I don't think we're quite there.
Well, right. First of all, I mean, like, you got the Earth's rotation, the amount of salt, saline water affects the climate, the amount of cloud cover, and then of course the Earth's proximity to the sun, the cycles of the moon, and the tides, and all of those sort of things play into all of these things. And then of course there's the volcanic activity beneath the surface of the ocean, which is also adding chemical compounds into the water, which eventually evaporate, and those things can also change or alter the weather as well.
There's one thing I have noticed, though, because I've kind of followed the weather quietly throughout my life a little bit, and I have noticed, though, and it makes me a little suspicious, but I would say that up until the last 5 years or so, I never heard about, like, you would hear about how 1 inch of rain equals about 10 inches of snow, thereabouts, right? So you'd hear about these 2 or 3 foot snowstorms. You hear about 3, 4, 5 inches of rain. Oh, wow, that's 4 or 5 feet of snow. But over the last 5 years, all of a sudden, 12 inches of rain, 15 inches of rain, these massive rainfalls that I didn't hear about before, and I'm wondering about that. Like Texas, South Carolina, there's been more than one. There's been several of them where you're hearing about, even just recently in Indiana, you're hearing about 12, 13, 15 inches of rain coming on in 1 or 2 days. That's something that I don't remember hearing about when I was younger. And I don't know if there's what that might be. I'd like to see the statistics. Maybe I'm wrong, but do you guys remember a lot of storms of over? There's my cat. Another storms of over a foot long. I mean, over a foot of rain, not snow, but rain. I mean,
Yeah.
a 12-inch snowstorm is a big snowstorm, pretty big snowstorm. I mean, it seems pretty wild to me, and I don't know what the explanation is. I don't know if you guys have any ideas on that, but I don't remember a lot of big rainstorms of that, multiple inches like that.
There are multiple long-term cycles that make up weather.
Yeah.
So
they'd probably outdo my own lifespan.
oh yeah, several times over,
But,
for sure.
Oh, also the axis of the Earth, when the poles, like by a minutia of a degree, can actually affect weather as well.
Mm-hmm. Well, rainstorms have definitely gotten more intense in the last,
because that determines how much sunlight will reach a certain, like a tenth, like a quarter of a degree or whatever, a 16th of a degree.
While you guys are quietly talking, Ricky is having quite the challenge here.
I think Ricky's fighting with his wife over there, is he not? Are you watching a domestic argument over here with no sound?
Essentially, yes.
Well, you know what? At the end of the day,
it's like he looks like he's in one of those silent movies from Hollywood back in
Charlie Chaplin.
Right. I'll get you, Batman.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Curses.
Anyway,
I talked with Stevie.
Oh,
Stevie.
so just forgive me for interjecting, but did you hear that I guess Reese is going to have Ryan Fazio on his show, I think within the next couple of days or week or whatever.
Yeah.
And that will be interesting because I think that will get I'd like to just throw some questions up in Reese's feed to say, like, get him to answer these several questions. And then, of course, Reese said Ryan Fazio is really looking forward to coming on the show, and he wants to be here, and he wishes he could be on here every day, yada, yada, yada.
I'll have to call right afterward. Call the show right after Fazio gets off and really. So I have a prediction. I'm gonna make an election prediction right now.
Yeah.
You guys ready? I saw a Channel 3 poll that said Fazio was down by about 17 points right now to Lamont.
Yeah, I saw that.
I don't know if I can believe that poll, but I think Fazio is going to win this election. He's going to be the next governor. You heard it here first on CSNA and Yankee T News.
Okay.
And I'll tell you why. Now, I told Selena that today. She went, yay. None of you guys went, yay. Why? Because I think that these elitists that we fight, that seem to have a stranglehold on so many things that frustrate the crap out of us, are going to allow Fazio to win.
Okay, well, there's one thing
they know he's not a reformer. They know he's not going to reform. They know he's going to play ball. And he knows that when he does, a lot of the people that feel the way we feel, that vote the way we vote, that may not be on podcast the way we are, they may not be active the way they are, but they feel the way we do, they're going to go like Selena did, yay. And they're going to go home and say, everything's cool now. We got a Fazio on our side as governor. And they're going to nothing more than wrong.
That's right. That's right. Evil Empire had to correct himself. He thought the Earth rotated at 26,000 miles per hour when it's really 1,000 miles per hour.
Yes, thank you. If we were going 26 miles an hour, we'd all have our heads spinning pretty badly.
Sure. Yeah.
Now, if the Earth started spinning a lot faster, would we die sooner? No. Would it affect time? No.
No. If you're talking about moving faster, then time slows down and your aging slows down.
If the Earth started spinning faster, that means the sun would go up and down a lot faster. So 2 days would equal 1 day, so to speak. But wouldn't it change? You're still gonna live now. It's still a year. That's not gonna change. Only it's gonna be 730 days a year now instead.
Yeah. Wouldn't the gravitational field also be?
Sure, there'd be a lot of other factors. I'm just time here, but
someone said, and I don't know how much truth there is to it, but the Yangtze River Dam or the Three Forks Dam or whatever.
Three Gorges.
They're the Three Gorges. Thanks. Dam has affected the Earth's rotation, but slowing it down by
It's
like a
nanosecond every 20.
it's like a fraction of a whatever. But
Nothing we have to worry about, that's for sure.
yes. So
Well, we really are floating on this like spaceship and the space. Anything could happen. I mean, something could hit us, or
well, if you get to
like
see the Artemis 2 mission, and listen to what the astronauts had to say after they came back, which somewhat echoed what some of the astronauts from the Apollo missions had said, but I think it was the woman who was in this recent mission, but she was just struck by how, I mean, her whole perspective on life has completely changed. It's like that experience for them was a transformative experience, because being out there and witnessing this, ball for all intents and purposes, just suspended like in darkness.
yeah.
It was just extremely how like fragile and how precious or whatever, I guess, is probably one of the other adjectives that was used to describe their experience. And I think one of the other astronauts made a remark to the effect that says, you really don't need to leave Earth's orbit to actually experience that type of introspection or that type of awe. He
The
says,
top of a cruise ship in the middle of the ocean is a good place to see.
Sure.
You can see the
Yeah. Well, like when Court had his sailboat down here in Greenwich, a few times like we went out,
right.
It was that it's kind of like that a similar type of feeling. You're just, you're moving along, the wind is moving you along, and you're just taking in the scenery around you. And, one can't help but be, humbled by an experience it was humbling for me anyway. So.
Yeah, it was when I went on my Alaska cruise. Bella, you got to move, honey. When I went on my Alaska cruise 2 years ago, that was a harrowing experience, amazing experience. The glaciers up there, how fragile those are. And you can't take things for granted in this world. And if you think about it, doesn't it get back to, we're all floating on this blue ball around space, and doesn't it get back to everybody should be kind of pulling their weight if they can? You know what I mean?
Well,
island, like Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
I mean, people should be pulling their weight if they can. Entitlement is not a good thing in a place on our ship, on our big blue ship.
Yeah.
Picture.
I'm trying to figure out how you got there.
This
How did you go from a blue dot hanging in space to pulling your weight? I don't know.
I'm equating it to Lord of the Flies. Like they got stuck on. There was an island around in the middle of the ocean. We have this planet in the middle of the universe here,
Okay.
and we all have a duty to pull our weight on this. We're all stranded on this big island, and people should be pulling their weight if they can. That's where I'm going. Hey, that's why they call me the big picture.
There you go.
Well,
you gotta move.
Evil Empire just can't leave it alone.
There is about 20 some odd years ago, when I used to be on this video chat program called iVisit. Yeah. There was an account called Big Frame, and what he would do is he would stream, like they would have this ambient sort of techno type of music, and then he would stream these like video clips of just random things like nature and architecture, and just spliced all of these different imagery things together and put it to music, which was really wild. Yeah.
Okay. The Big Frame, like the big picture?
Yeah, Big Frame.
But
the name of the account was Big Frame.
I see.
Okay. If the price ever comes down enough for it, though, I will be all over taking a trip straight up, far enough up so I can see that I'm out of the atmosphere.
I think you can actually. I think in weather,
about $500,000 right now is where it's at.
Weather, I think you can go up in like a high altitude balloon or a glider.
Yeah. The
I
answer
don't know
is
if that's enough. If I'm going to do it, I want to be off the planet.
let's just say,
I want to be in the black, and I want to see it from above.
all right. So let's just say Ricky is having something other than technical difficulties right now.
He's got his own space problem over there.
Well,
So-
yeah, it's a little bit of Kubrick going on over
Yeah.
there, I guess.
Right. It could be the Darth Vader show for all we know.
Speaking of that, I talked with Stevie this morning. She's a girl who runs a podcast called Truth or Demons,
Okay.
where they explore the paranormal, ghosts and things like that, try to figure out what's real, what's not. And she invited me on her show last year. I said, I don't believe in ghosts. I said, the one I come on and talk to you about it. And we did a little skit last year. It was great. And she's going to come on at nights for us on CSNA pretty soon. We're going to get her, once we get the technology, Eric, up and running, we're just going to start sending us videos. We're going to start putting her show on during the night. So look for that on our channel and on CSNA. So
Yeah, you can be Katy Perry Jr. Ricky is not okay. So I think Evil Empire needs to know that.
Well, I don't. Oh, he's got the mic off, so we don't know what he could be taking a beating right now for all we know.
Yeah, he's kind of moving around, doing whatever. So
we also want to do what's called the A to Z show. That's going to be where we're going to have embed reporters essentially spend a week in each town. It's a long project. It's a 169-week project. It'll be, I think every Saturday afternoon it'll be broadcast, and we're going to have embed reporters spend an entire week in every town, starting with Andover, Ashford, Ansonia, and so forth. Wait, Andover, then Ansonia, then Ashford, all the way till the last town, which I believe is Wolcott. Is it Wolcott? Is the last town?
Okay.
Maybe. And I know there's no town that begins with X, Y, or Z. That's a whole town. I think it's W, Wolcott. But anyway, they're going to spend a week in each town. They're going to do life as it happens. They go to the shopping centers, door to door, all the whatever local attractions there are at the town. Interview people, see what's on their mind, see what they're thinking. And then as the week rolls on, you go to the government institutions in the town, talk to the people there. Get a whole feel for what concerns the people in that town, and how much does what concerns them dovetail with what the government's doing, and what are all their concerns around the nation, around the world, whatever. We're gonna and then we're gonna just spend the whole week at the town, and that will result in a 1 or 2 hour documentary about that town at the end of the week on our weekends on CSNE. So that's going to be cool. Really get to know Connecticut. Selena knows some people. You're doing Yankee T News down in Greenwich. Selena knows some people want to do the Valley. They have the Valley podcast about Beacon Falls, Ansonia, Derby. What else is over there? I guess Shelton. Naugatuck. That whole area. That's going to be focused on those concerns and whatnot. So a lot on the table. A lot. All right here in my little trusty clipboard and notebook.
Okay, well, you got a lot. I mean, now, so what's Sam going to do?
Sam's probably going to go help out campaign that guy Lawler in New York. I hooked him up with that little gig there, that little paying gig down there. So he's going to go down there. He's going to be one of our reporters. He's going to be sending good stuff. He's going to be our fraud investigator. He's going to be our little, what was it? Watley was his name? What's that? What's the name of that kid from Minnesota? Is it Watley? Whitley or something? I don't know. He's going to be our little Whitley guy.
What about these stories you just listed?
Well, we got to have to cover them all.
So Sam's going to do those.
He's going to help with them. Yeah, he can't do it all by himself. I know that Vidaro is involved. I know there's a lot of the reporters won't be a problem. We have a lot of people that want to go out and expose corruption and get to the truth and tell the stories that people really want to see, that really matter to their lives, not these waste eyewitness news stuff that that newscast is more like 211.
Yeah.
Hey, if you want to know how to keep the toilet paper right, call. We'll tell you how to do it. Hey, put the roll this way. Give me a break.
Okay.
It's not news. To be fair, I'd say 30% of what they do is probably news. The other 70% is.
Wait, who are you talking about?
Local news in Connecticut for right now. WFSB.
Oh, please, yeah.
Yeah, come on,
Dare I remind you about that little exercise?
The little exercise.
Watch. So let's just say it's Channel 8.
Exercise.
You have one person, and he's talking about the importance of getting the truth out and how important it is to defend democracy. Suddenly, a second screen pops up, somebody from some other station saying exactly the same thing.
Mhm.
So you're listening then to stereo. Then the 2 suddenly go to 4, all saying the same thing. The 4 goes to 8, all saying the same thing, until the whole screen is just filled with all these channels from around the country, all saying exactly the same thing. You've seen it, Eric.
Yeah, media is locked up with groupthink.
So you haven't seen what was worse than groupthink. They're all fed the same script.
Yeah.
They're all fed the same script.
Well, no one's going to be scripting us at CS&E. We're going to get to the bottom of it.
Yeah.
And we're not. It's not going to be all dark. We're going to have. That's why CS comes as news and entertainment too.
Oh, yes, entertainment.
We're going to entertain you. We're going to have a quiz show. We have a quiz show we're going to do. That I don't have a point of contact on that one yet. That's just in the conceptual phase right now. But
I think that the thing that will go viral will be when you put together your ukulele blues band.
That reminds me, when this summer began, come here, honey, I'll just sit on my lap. When this summer began, we talked about we were going to have a whole bunch of events, and it didn't really work out because we're all busy and it's hard. I get it, but maybe we should focus on one and do it this fall. The music festival this fall somewhere, like October, early October, before it gets too cold.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think? We can talk about it off the air a little bit more. We don't want to bore people with our. Oh, this cat is so over me today. Sorry.
I see. Well, that's just it. You see, Ricky's getting sabotaged. You're getting sabotaged. What next?
I know. At least she can't talk. Ricky's got it worse than me. Oh, he's even off on the visual now. Oh man, he's really going at it now.
Yeah,
he's in deep.
All right. Well,
anyway,
he was going to be. So this guy, we'll call him now, John of. So what about yes? Let's do that. Let's put this up for this. We're changing the subject now.
Okay.
There's been a lot of back and forth the last few nights.
Oh, we're back in the Middle East. Here we go. Okay, go ahead.
Kind of, sort of. It's Eastern Europe and Russia. So this is probably the best map I've been able to find so far about this place, this fabled place called Khazaria. Okay. So yes, there really was a Khazaria. And if you look carefully, you can see the Caspian Sea and the Black Sea. All right. Mm-hmm. So much of that area there is sort of at the front door of the, I guess the Caucasus Mountains are down in the south. Okay. So the Caucasus Mountains are down in the south, but then to the north of the plains. Now, what's interesting, if you can follow the color scheme, so there's that light orange, and then there's a sort of like an even lighter orange and then yellow. See those three? Mm-hmm. So that's sort of the history of the Khazarian Empire. It grew from the small thing to the big thing. Now, it ran from, all right, so we'll go from the map now. Now you got an idea of where it was.
Okay.
And we'll get rid of that.
I messed up my camera, man.
And now we'll put up the timeline. Okay, so here we go.
Ooh.
Okay, so this off of the internet is supposedly the history of Khazaria. Now the point is that Khazaria was home to Ashkenazi Jews. Now the question is whether we're talking about people who were born Jewish or some ethnic tribe that decided to become Jewish. And the argument is that they decided to become Jewish. The reason was because they were flanked east and west by Christians and Muslims who were putting them under a lot of pressure to assimilate. So they didn't want to do that, and their answer was to take on Judaism as their form of shielding themselves against the other religions in the area. Okay, so that's the basic idea. And so 5th century was when it started. So you had a bunch of tribes. They started to work together. And now we come to 6th century. And then the Khaganate was formed. So that would have been that first small orange ball that you saw on the map. Okay. And then 7th century, because they were, now the thing is, so it says that they were controlling trade routes, but in fact, the Silk Road was just outside of Khazaria, whatever that was all about. But they did apparently control the trade routes. Okay. So now we're up to the 8th century. So this is where they adopted Judaism. as their, quote, state religion. Okay. Now, 9th century, so now they managed to expand their empire. That would be that second phase, that sort of lighter orange part you saw. Okay. And then they're exerting more influence. Then 10th century, decline begins due to internal strife and external pressures from neighboring states, including, that's right, Russia, better known as Rus. And then we have the 11th century, and the Khaganate is effectively dismantled by the Rus and later by the Mongol invasions. And then 13th century, the remnants of the Khazars migrate westward, contributing to the formation of Ashkenazi Jewry in Eastern Europe. Okay, so I think that's a reasonable depiction. I'm not sure there's a lot to argue about there.
I find it interesting that I have a history degree, and I barely heard of these guys.
Well, yeah, well, Khazaria, it is funny. Khazaria is one of those things they don't talk about very much. So it's made it just so easy for conspiracy theorists to have a holiday with this stuff. So that so that's the idea. Now the question then became in my mind, is there any kind of relationship here with the Pale of Settlement? Pale of Settlement? So here, we're going to do the Pale of Settlement if I can pull it up. All right, I'm going to do this in short order here. So first of all, I want to look at the map of Khazaria again. Okay. All right, so take note of how far north it reaches, which is kind of, what would we say here? Black Sea. So on the west, it doesn't.
Pretty darn far north.
It's really Western Russia for the most part. What would be today's Western Russia is what you see here.
I assume this is a circular map that you're looking at by the way it's curved. So
No.
this top is probably way up. This was way up toward the top of Germany.
All right, so you see the Baltic Sea up there. Okay, Caspian Sea here. You see the Black Sea over there. Okay, so keep that in mind. Now, I want to see if I can find. Okay, remove you. Where are the others here? All right, come on. See if I can find it. There's another map here.
And while you're looking at the map, I want to shift gears real quick. We'll come back to it.
Yeah, here it is. Pale of Settlement.
We'll get to it.
All right. Now, Pale of Settlement was in that area. Okay, but again, notice the Black Sea over here. Okay, so it was more north.
Yeah, Baltic Sea. That's way up there.
Okay, so I wish my hand could. So where you see the word Russia, that would have been sort of a part of what was then Khazaria, but was not part of the Pale of Jewish settlement. Okay, so the Khazaria would have ceased to exist around the 1400s. So now we have this so-called quiet period, but you still had a lot of Jews living in that area. However,
the ones over here in Prussia are the ones that ended up later becoming victims of the Holocaust.
Yeah, much later.
Well, after 1917,
okay.
Yeah.
So the thing is that there was long-standing prejudice against Jews by Catholics and others. And so they're constantly, fighting to hold their own. They're, confined to these ghettos. There were pogroms, all this stuff going on. Nonetheless, they hung in there. And then we come to a period of time, which would have been the early 1700s, which started what's called the partitions of Poland. So you'll see that there's nothing in that map that identifies what we know of as Poland. What would have been Poland would have been, so you see the term Austro-Hungary and Prussia. So you kind of drew a circle around there. That's kind of where Poland would have been. So Poland in 3 stages was cut up into little pieces. Prussia.
Doesn't Poland border the Baltic Sea though?
Yes. So Prussia took a piece of Poland.
Yeah.
Austria-Hungary took a piece, and Russia took a piece. Now, because that happened, this caused a migration of Jews in the region. And in particular, Catherine the Great was not pleased. So Catherine the Great formed this plan to confine Jews to certain villages in Western Russia to keep them from going into the interior of Russia. because they really didn't like Jews back then. And as a result, you had these towns that had very specific rules or laws saying you can only hold these jobs, you can only stay in this town. They restricted their movement, restricted their profession choices. So for all this effort, I am surprised to learn that in this region, I think I laid this on you before, Jason, I'll ask it again. So what percent of the population in that area do you think was Jewish?
I would probably say more than 50%.
The highest number is 15%.
Oh, wow.
So they're a distinct minority, right? So it's weird, right, that for a distinct minority, they're being confined like this.
Well,
I mean, I think, if anything, it just tells you how much Jews were disliked in Eastern Europe.
you know why they're disliked? They're disliked because they're smart, they're savvy, they save their money, they run circles around people in terms of production a lot of times. They're committed.
Yeah.
People that get jealous, they don't like that. They don't like when people outdo them. And
Right. So
sharp people, man.
All right. So in round numbers, this region in the late 1700s, early 1800s had a population of approximately 50 million people, of whom 5 million were Jews. 5 million. That's a small number, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, and so the
dollars in my bank account, that's a big number then.
So 1917 kind of marks the end of this Pale Jewish settlement. That would have been World War I. And that would have been the Russian Revolution. So all this brought an end to the Pale of Jewish settlement, which then caused more of the Jews to migrate into the interior of Russia. And that becomes kind of a next chapter. So there you go. There you go.
There you go. Okay, so I'm going to have to leave in a couple minutes, but before I go,
Yep.
I want to bring up Dolly Parton.
Sure.
Dolly Parton died, of course, everybody knows, a couple days ago. It was just yesterday, I think, or the day before. She died at 80 years old. She's someone that I remember when I was a little boy, 9 to 5, the movie, getting all into 9 to 5, Dolly Parton, and she's just a terrific person. One thing you could say, she stayed out of the politics. She managed to navigate even in these last 10 years to keep all her fans. And I want to tell you a little quick story about Dolly Parton that I don't think most people know.
Okay.
Did you know that Dolly Parton once entered a Dolly Parton lookalike contest?
Oh my God.
And lost.
That's
true.
The wig.
It was a little bit of an exaggerated wig and put the boobs a little bit, and and went in there and put some makeup on or whatever, and lost the beauty contest. I think that's a great story.
Yeah.
But, all right, before I go, I want to do another Who Am I with you guys. You ready?
Ready.
This is a good one. Here we go. You ready, Eric? I share my name with an orphan. It's the first clue. I'm a person. I'll give you that. I'm a person.
Yeah.
I share my name with an orphan. And this, of course, this is the Patriot question, so it's USA.
Okay.
Second one. Do you have a guess? Share my name with an orphan. That's a hard one. Second one. My name is better known than my face.
Interesting. Where's that noise coming from?
Number 3. I was born in Connecticut in 1947.
1947.
Okay. I share a name with an orphan. My name is better known than my face. I was born in Connecticut in 1947. That's hard. These are hard. I like the hard ones. Nobody's got a guess. Next one. I photographed a nude John Lennon.
What? Now it's getting weirder. I photographed a nude John Lennon.
Yep. I share a name with an orphan. My name is better known than my face. I was born in Connecticut in 1947, and I photographed a nude John Lennon.
A nude John.
A nude John Lennon. It's probably female, I hope. Yeah, Melissa got it. Melissa got it from the other room. I heard her say it.
Yeah. Okay. Ready?
Go ahead. No guess?
No guess.
I'm the first woman to exhibit her photographic work in the Smithsonian Institute.
Oh, I know I'm going to recognize this name when I hear it. This is
You
just
don't know it offhand. You know what, Eric? She was
No.
someone that I was asked to contact that she might. When I first got involved, we were looking for someone to run for governor.
Yeah.
They wanted me to contact her. Her name is Annie Leibovitz.
Yes. Right.
You're right. When I said the name, you'd say, "Oh yes." That's a hard one. I stumped you guys. I love it.
And P.S. I don't like her photography.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah, I've heard of her. Yeah.
I love John Lennon, but I don't want to see him nude. Okay.
Right.
All right. Well, I gotta go, guys. I got work to do. I got your son coming tomorrow. I gotta prepare for him, and so I'll let you guys take it from here. Entertainment. Remember, the fight's always between the state and family. Love you guys. Have a good night, everybody.
You too.
Later, Jason.
And
As he goes back into the night like Ricky. I don't know what to do about Ricky. Ain't coming back, I guess. Let's see. Oh, Ricky, if you can hear us. I don't know. Here, just text him real quick. So maybe you weren't, I guess you didn't hear his comments about the flock cameras, Eric?
Well, I know that there was a big to-do that the residents of Milford are really pushing back against.
I would say that's putting it nicely.
Yeah.
Now, all right. So let me just see if I can. Right. I'm going to say, how are you doing? All right. Let's see if he answers. Now, there's a name, Kim Wigglesworth. Have you met her?
No.
Yeah, so she writes for Connecticut Sentinel, and she fancies herself as an investigative reporter.
Sure.
I don't know. She's another one of these. Yeah, she's nuts. Yeah, we got that. I'm sorry. I'll ask him this. Will you be back? All right, we'll see. Yeah. So there was this this article she wrote for them about socialism in Connecticut that was just absolutely brilliant. I went nuts over how well it was written. And so I did finally get to meet her. And the thing is that she's another example. She's praying that he gets on. Okay, prayers up, dude. She was a Democrat, like Kate Prokop. So we have these disaffected Democrats who, quote, joined our side. And I'm thinking it's our gain and their loss with people like this. So there's something that went on. So Reese, okay. Reese on the radio apparently took a trip to Tong's office in Hartford.
Right.
You know about this?
I do, because I listened to the podcast or the talk show yesterday, and he described that apparently his office knew that he was there, and apparently deliberately
provoked.
Well, I wouldn't say provoked, but just basically told him that he wasn't allowed to come into the office and he wasn't allowed to speak or ask questions. Not
allowed to speak or ask questions.
Right.
No, we should be able to use that against Mr. Tong in the campaign. Because I can see him making whatever excuses that he wants to make. All right, so what's this? DJ sent me something. Anyway, so Kim Wigglesworth, she has this peculiar tagline, the relentless, she of the relentless night, something like that, she calls herself. So she went to Tong's office to follow up on what happened to Reese. And they were giving her a rough time. And I'll tell you, it was taking on some rather surreal characteristics, the way the whole thing was going on.
Okay.
Yeah. But to her credit, so she's sending them a message saying, you can't abuse people like Reese because others will know about it and we'll be coming by to find out what happened.
Exactly.
And then it just goes from there. It just goes from there, just like we're talking about it now.
Right.
The word will spread. Yeah, it will spread. So what's this? Steve Nicks. Okay, so this was a Stevie Nicks cover band in North Haven. I see. So he wants me to listen. I'll get around to listening to that. Don't worry. Don't worry. Anyway, so I mean, you could hang in for a little bit. Oh, good night, guys. So he's going. Another Jew. This guy. Yeah, I'm more on Jason's side in this matter. Yeah, okay. Anyway, so I just wanted to remind you about two things.
Is this something that can be spoken of off the air, or
Or
is this news?
Well, just the remember I asked for the
Oh,
modified.
right.
Oh.
Yeah. My week has been kind of nuts. So I had Carol Allen twice this week, and they've got me. Well, anyway, I mean, I don't want to discuss my personal life stuff on the air.
Don't have to.
So
It should only take a few minutes, right?
what?
Because all I'm asking you to do is to make the motto bigger and bold so it's more easily seen. That's all. That's all I'm asking for.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's it. And then send that file to me, and then I can start working on the swag.
Okay.
Right.
All right. Well, have a good night, everybody.
And the pavers. Did you touch the pavers?
We'll get to that off the air.
Yeah. Okay. Later. All right. I guess I'm calling it a night. All right. Nighty night.